On October 16th of 2024, the alert level was raised at the closest active volcano to the city of Anchorage, population 290,000. This occurred due to a notable change in activity at the Mount Spurr volcano, which itself is located 75 miles due west of the city. For those of you who live in Anchorage, this is the same volcano which dumped large amounts of ash on the surrounding country in both 1953 and 1992, disrupting air traffic in both instances, and dumping 1/4 inch and 1/8 inch of ash respectively in the city. A new intrusion of magma had been already known to be ongoing underneath Mount Spurr's glacier-covered edifice since at least late November of last year, which in the time since has pushed the ground upwards by 1.6 inches or 4 centimeters through displacement. This in turn triggered an increased rate of earthquakes, including low-frequency earthquakes, which indicated the likely disturbance of its underlying hydrothermal system. Further adding to this, its typically glacier-covered edifice became the site of a highly acidic liquid crater lake for several months this summer, indicating increased subsurface temperatures. Taking all of this into account, this places the current episode of Unrest as tied with the strongest of the 2 other prior episodes of Unrest Spurr produced since its last eruption. Then, something pushed the current unrest beyond the intensity of their prior episodes of Unrest on October 4th, when the first non-micro earthquake struck underneath Spurr's edifice, registering in as a magnitude 2.2. Simultaneously, the rate of earthquakes not only experienced a sudden and sustained increase, going from 4.7 to 12.8 quakes a day, but more importantly, the largest of these earthquakes increased by 1 order of magnitude, generating several magnitude 2 and 3 earthquakes. These quakes as a whole clustered at shallower depths than in previous months, specifically at less than 5 kilometers or 3.1 miles depth. This indicates what very well could be the arrival of shallow magma or hydrothermal fluids hot enough that there is now an increased risk, albeit still low chance, of an eruption soon occurring. This far surpasses the rate of 2 earthquakes a day witnessed before Spurr's last eruption in 1992. Ground deformation data suggests that the uplift presumably from a body of rising magma is currently at 2 to 3 miles depth at a spot 2 miles west of Mount Spurr's summit. So, what is my interpretation of these events? On my 0 to 10 Volcanic Unrest intensity scale, I would rate the current week of activity at Mount Spurr as a 5, whereas I would have rated activity 2 months ago as a 3. The current volcanic unrest is still fairly weak. Also, there does not appear to be a rapid escalation in activity, but rather a slow one. While an eruption could theoretically occur without warning sometime this month, the rate of escalation to me suggests that if an eruption was to occur, it would happen 3 or more months from now. But then again, the most likely outcome by far is that no eruption ends up occurring and the unrest subsides. These sorts of unrest episodes occur about once every 15 years at Spurr, and fast rather than slow escalations in activity are legitimately concerning. So, if Mount Spurr was to erupt sometime in the near future, what would be affected? While pyroclastic flows and lahars would be generated and possibly travel up to 16.5 and 42 miles away respectively, these would be confined to sparsely populated areas, although I was able to locate several structures in the lahar hazard zone. The main hazard would be heavy ashfall to air traffic generated by 30,000 plus foot high eruption columns, as any eruption for days or weeks on end might result in the cancellation of all air traffic to Anchorage. It will be interesting to see what happens next, and I may even make a trip to Anchorage if an eruption does end up occurring there. As a final note, I would like to thank this channel's patrons on Patreon and channel members on YouTube.